Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Bearbackers. We have a full house today. A busy week coming up for the Bears and Sugar Bears. We'll go ahead and start with this week's schedule. Tonight, Nathan Brown Coaches Show at Walk-Ons at 7 p.m. and on Buzz 2, which is 106.7. Wednesday, the basketball Sugar Bears will have another Screaming Kids Day. On Wednesday, they play at Oklahoma State at 11 a.m. in Stillwater. You just can't have too many of those. Thursday, our volleyball Sugar Bears will be in Fort Myers, Florida, playing in the ASUN Championship as the number 3 seed. We'll face number 6 North Florida at 9 a.m. our time. Thursday, 9 a.m. our time. Semifinals are Friday, the championship's on Saturday. Also Thursday, men's basketball hosts its annual MTE, which is a multi-team event. Beginning that night, we play Southeast Missouri at 6:30 at the Ferris Center on Thursday night. Friday, game 2 of the MTE will feature SEMO and UNC Asheville. Neutral site game, 6:30 at the Ferris Center. And then hopefully the Sugar Bears involve semifinals. If we are, play at 4 p.m. our time on Friday. Saturday football wraps up the regular season at Tarleton State, 2 p.m. in Stephenville, Texas. And again, hopefully the Sugar Bears are in the championship of the ASUN. That will be 6 p.m. our time Saturday night. And then Sunday, the Bears will close out their tournament at the Ferris Center against UNC Asheville at 1 p.m. Sunday afternoon. Start today with our men's soccer team. Came that close to be playing in the NCAA tournament, and right now we would be watching an NCAA selection show. And having a party, as Erod said. We went double overtime with North Florida on Saturday on their home field. We lost on penalty kicks in a shootout. Great run down the stretch for our men. Very talented young men on that squad. We had 3 named to the all-tournament team. Senior Devontae Richards, junior Pietro Fontana, and sophomore Elijah Bishop were all named to the all-tournament team. Now to wrap up an outstanding season by our men's soccer, let's welcome Frank Kholenstein.
Hey, thank you very much. I just wanted to say thanks to everybody here that had put up with me coming up and talking to them on some Mondays when I was invited in, so I appreciate that. But, for sure, you should be proud of those guys. I mean, they played hard. And, as a coach, you want to be better at the end than you were at the start. As an educator, you want to be better at the end than you were at the start. And these guys did that. I can't complain about anything they did. I mean, they played 4 matches where it was, you don't have any more matches if you don't win this one. So talk about, having their backs against the wall and all that stuff. And, even though you may think that I'm a funny old dude when I stand up here and talk to you, I'm a hard dude. They have to work hard in training. We have high expectations. I mean, even when we're having meals and someone takes the last cookie and they don't throw away the container, I'm on them. Because I believe, and I think that's what our coaches here at UCA believe, is that, we're about making them better at their sport, but we're certainly about making them better people. That's what educators do, and I think that's what our coaches do. I mean, every week when I come to this, I admire Coach Brown, because whether they win or they taste defeat, he's always up here doing a class thing. So thank you. So very hard, but I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate our players. Thanks everybody for your help.
He has his staff over here with him today too, so give them one more hand if you would. They did a heck of a job. They're the ones that made all the right adjustments, right, Frank?
Absolutely. I mean, they have to even try and get it to the field.
They had to put up with Frank for the whole year, so that's one thing. Gene.
Frank,
Gene's got something for you, Frank.
how is Lucas doing?
I'm sorry I didn't let you know that. We had the greatest thing that could happen, better than winning the match. At training on the Friday, we're training and, we're all serious because we're going for this championship and all that. Then suddenly, I see out of the corner of my eye, Lucas and his dad walk up. And, if you think I was a battling fool there, Lucas was giving me a big hug. So that was a great thing. He was on the sideline with us, yelling at the guys, yelling at the referee, yelling at me. He was doing it all. That was such a great thing. Tomorrow he has another pet stand. And, being the genius that I am, I said, well, this time is it a dog or a cat? So thanks for asking about Lucas. He's such a positive dude. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Our cross-country teams ran in the NCAA Regional last Friday down at Texas A&M. Men finished 15th overall. Women tied their best finish ever with a 10th place finish. That's out of 33 teams. Junior Madeline Hill was 51st overall out of 200 runners. On the men's side, Pete Johnson was 41st out of 193 runners. So a very solid showing by Coach Weaver's two teams. Now they turn their attention to indoor track. It never stops. Then it goes right into outdoor track. So they stay busy the entire school year. Volleyball finished out the regular season with back-to-back 5-set road victories on Friday and Saturday, back-to-back days even. We beat EKU on Friday and Bellarmine on Saturday. That sealed the number 3 seed for us. Gave us a 16-11 overall record, 13-3 in the conference. Quite the turnaround from last season. I believe we were 2-14 in conference last year, 13-3 this year. As we said, we opened the tournament at 9 a.m. Thursday, our time, against number 6 seed North Florida. We beat them 3-1 way back in September. That was the only meeting this year. Host Gulf Coast, Florida Gulf Coast is the top seed. Lipscomb's number 2. We're number 3. Now let's hear from Coach John Newberry.
All right, fun weekend in Kentucky. We have a very, very good travel crew. I think we were about 50 deep with families and friends there in Kentucky. That's a lot for our sport, for a traveling. Even for a Power 5, that's a lot of people. But exciting win against Eastern Kentucky. It's at their gym's getting renovated right now, and so they're at a temporary place, one of their wellness centers, and so there's rebar up high. Their scoreboards are nice and low, so that's, for us, that comes into a major effect. Luckily, we didn't have to play off of it one time, so that was a good win. We're used to low ceilings here in the Prince Center, so it was nice to not have to worry about that. But EKU came out firing on everything that they had. So after they won that first one, like 25-9, I believe, we regrouped. Had to get a couple of kids in check real quick. They were fighting too hard. Couldn't think very clearly. Anyway, so we got done with the match. They've got these huge, 15-foot iron knights in the corner of the gym. I mean, just over the top everything. So the wrestling team showed up right behind us. They were still fired up from playing Iowa yesterday, giving it to us the whole entire time. So it was a great atmosphere. But luckily, we had our 50 parents and friends, and they had been tailgating out in the front, so they were good to go. So they were able to give it right back to them throughout the match. It was pretty fun. 3 freshmen playing during that match, and only 1 senior. Everybody else was a sophomore, had 1 junior playing. So we wanted to see what next year would potentially look like, it was pretty awesome to see that. We definitely had some breakdowns in some areas, just some things, because we hadn't practiced this rotation the whole entire season. We had not had that group of people on the court to play this whole entire season. So I had no idea it was going to happen. We just know that we have great athletes, and we know what we're capable of doing. It's just a new scenario. But luckily we pulled that out. We won in the fifth set 19-17, and it was definitely a battle. But I cannot be more proud. Just as our soccer guys their season is done. We are about to be in the emotional side of things as well, where you've gone through the highs and lows. Now you're playing for something a little bit extra. And how can you contain that emotion throughout these next 3 or 6 is where we're going to be having to look at things. But I can't say enough about our seniors. They are the ride or die. They've been through hell here, and they've been through amazing times here at times. Last year going 2-14, and then this year 13-3. It's because of how they have responded to adversity at times, injuries or not, and so couldn't be more proud of them in this program. So we head out tomorrow for Florida Gulf Coast. We've got North Florida, as Steve mentioned. Feeling confident about the game, not overly confident. We're feeling very confident about this weekend. And we have our flight there. We do not have a flight booked to come back home just yet. Our goal is to stay there and come back on Sunday. That's our goal. That's what the girls want, and that's what we're hanging on to. We got done with our senior match. The girls are like looking up at our championship banners, and we've got several in that gym. Looking up at those championship banners, and they're like, we want that one right there. It's got the big NCAA logo on it. So regular season's done. It's time to move on, and so it's time to fight and go for that tournament. I can't wait. Can't wait. Any questions? No. Gene was good. Yeah, Gene traveled to Kentucky with us, and he was right there. I heard Gene yelling side out majority of the game. It's one of the things that Gene yells. I can hear him, and I don't hear crowds. I'm one of the people that I don't hear crowds, but I hear Gene. Yeah, so it's I can't wait. But once again, thank you for your support, Gene. And of course, you guys have been able to make it as well. It's been a fantastic season. I'm looking to come back hopefully next week, watching the tournament show to see if we made it. Thank you guys so much.
You didn't have to take out any wrestlers or anything, did you?
I didn't know anything about it.
It's probably a good thing.
I was just focused on volleyball.
It's probably a good thing.
How many do they take?
For the conference tournament, NCAA, 64.
Our men's basketball Bears opened their home season last Wednesday, a resounding 108-49 win over Randall. I can tell you this, and Ken will appreciate this as a former SID, I had the record book out early, the way those three-pointers were flying, trying to figure out what we were going to break. We made 16 three-pointers, which is 3 short of the school record. We had 19 against Lipscomb last year. We did, however, shatter the three-pointers attempted. We shot 54. The old record was 35. So that one fell. 8 different players made at least 1 three-pointer, which is pretty impressive when it comes to that. Elias Cato had 19 points. Freshman Lane Taylor had 18. He had 5 of those threes himself. On Saturday, we played at Western Illinois and Macomb, Illinois. Might have let one get away from us. We'll let Coach talk about that. We were up 10 points with 6 minutes to play. They hit 2 free throws in the final second, literally final second, to win 63-61. This week, we're at home twice for our multi-team event, as I said. We play SEMO at 6:30 Thursday and UNC Asheville at 1 p.m. Sunday afternoon. SEMO is 1-3 on the season. One of those losses is to Chattanooga, a team that Coach is familiar with. And UNC Asheville is 0-2, and then they play tonight. And now let's hear from Coach John Shulman.
I'll tell you our week started stressed out about Randall. I didn't know anything about Randall. Well, we were coming off the Utah trip, tough trip. I thought, here's what I wanted. And here's what I want you all to know about our basketball program. I wanted you all to leave that arena on Wednesday night and say this: good Lord, do they play hard. That's all I want. We got to establish some standards in our culture. We got to establish a lot of different things right now. Good Lord, do they play hard. And I thought we played extremely hard on Wednesday. I would have liked to set different records. I'd like to make a few more. It doesn't really matter if you shoot them. You have to make them. But I was proud of our kids. All right, I was proud of our kids. How our practice plan is, I just let y'all know on this side of it. We played Thursday morning at 8 o'clock. We're watching film and practicing. Friday morning, we practice at 7 a.m. till 8:15. We're on the bus at 8:30. We bus to Little Rock. We fly to Charlotte. We fly to Peoria, Illinois. We drive an hour and a half and get to Macomb, Illinois at 6:30 on Friday night. And we play at 1 o'clock the next day. With the 16th least experienced basketball team in the country. That's us. West Illinois came to the Fair Center last year, was up 20 the majority of the game, won pretty easily. They were picked second in OVC. Game, it's been a hard trip, it's been a tough week. All I want is to establish some credibility with Central Arkansas basketball. I want them to know that we flippin' played the game. And our kids went out and we led, I think, by 5 at half in a real tough environment. We were up 10 with 6 to play, and they started pressing and made it wild and crazy. We still battled through it. It's a tie game with 30 seconds to go. We got the ball, 30 seconds to go. Shot clock really is off, and we're either going to win it going to overtime, right? Yeah, that's how I feel. We've had old guards in our program, in the program we've dealt with. We didn't call a timeout, didn't want to call a timeout. You call a timeout right there, they can change these. Now you got your ball bounce. We're fine. We're fine. We finally beat somebody off the bounce with 4 seconds to go. Go up, shoot it, get the shot blocked. They get a rebound. They take 2 dribbles. They're 70 feet away from the basket. And my kid, I don't think he fouled, but that's not the point. The point is you cannot put yourself in that position. And so he reached in with 1 second to go, 70 feet away from the basket. And even better yet, he's got 55 family members because he's from Chicago and we're up in Illinois. You talk about a teachable moment. That's a teachable moment. And we're getting ready to watch film here in a second. But I'm going to take some of the heat too. We have not spent a ton of time in situations. Why? Because I don't even know if we're good enough to get into a situation. But we are getting better, and we're good enough now to get ourselves in a situation. I mean, we defended, we rebounded, they're really good. And we gave ourselves, I'm going to tell you this, we had 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores on the court at one time in the second half. I looked at their roster, they don't have a freshman on their roster. They have 2 sophomores on the roster that don't play. Starting 2-man, graduated high school in May. Their starting 2-man graduated 7 years ago. I'm not joking. When everybody said you better be old, get old, be old, they meant it. But we're not old. And with Javion out right now, and with Tyler Lee out, and with Ty Robinson out, we are limited. Doesn't matter. Good Lord, do they play hard? And good Lord, did we play hard in West Illinois and gave ourselves a chance. Now, I believe in risking it all. So if you have success, Frank, if you have success, you're ecstatic, and if you don't, you're devastated. That's the only way you can have success. Our kids were devastated. Saturday afternoon, they were devastated. And Braden Fagbemi, who committed the foul, is devastated. Part of the learning curve, devastated. You got to, and then we move forward. And so we're going to move forward. But I want you to remember this, and coaches, we need to remember this too. If that ball goes through that basket with 3 seconds to go, man, we are rocking and rolling. It didn't. So does that mean we're the worst team in the country? No. It just means that in a 5-second span of time, things didn't go our way. Well, how about the previous 39 minutes? So we're getting better. We're getting better. We just haven't had the positive reinforcement that we're looking for. But winning's a byproduct of doing all the right things. So we're going to continue doing all the right things. We're going to go back to work today. We're changing culture. We're changing the standard. We will get there. You just got to give us some time. But Frank, you were talking about this. I don't know why I brought my practice plan today. But the thought of the day today, and I'm going to read it to you. It's kind of what you're talking about. Players have two choices. Either pout or prepare. Whether you play or don't play, whether you win or lose the game, you will never regret working hard, making commitments, being disciplined, or focusing too much. Those skills not only prepare you for your game, but they will prepare you for life. And so we're trying. Listen, I know, and I talk about this all the time, I know everybody's life here has been perfect. Everybody. I know that you know, how does it feel to lose a game at 70 feet after you played your guts out and you got an opportunity to have a big win on the road, and for that foul to be called in 1.4 seconds, it's like somebody stabbing you in the heart and not dying. Seeing our kids destroyed kills you. Because we battled too hard for that. We deserve better. We didn't get better. That's part of life. So what do? You pout or prepare. So we're going back today at 2. We're lifting today at 2. They're off. We start preparing again for Thursday night. We got a really good team. SEMO's coming in Thursday. Got beat really close by Chattanooga last night. Got beat close by Vanderbilt. They're really good. They're really good. And then Asheville was in the NCAA tournament a couple years ago. They're going to be really good on Sunday. Let me explain this to you. Everybody is really good compared to us right now. That don't mean we can't win. That don't mean it. That just means where our program is right now. We're battling to go from here to there. And then when we get there, we're going to go there. Little by little. We talk about baby steps. We're taking toddler steps. Like the little person that can't even walk. We're doing that right there. But we're moving forward. And as long as we're moving forward, we're in good shape. So once again, I appreciate, I ain't going to lie to you. I told Brock Winters, I thought we'd have 12 people at our game Thursday, last Wednesday night. I was like, we'll have 12 or less people. It was like, Coach, you don't understand this community. I said, we deserve to have 12 or less people at our game last Wednesday night. I walked out there and saw those people. Man, it meant a lot. It meant a lot to us. It meant a lot to the kids. And we had more than 12. It was a great crowd. We really appreciate that because we're going to earn our keep sometime. But we really appreciate your support while we're trying to earn our keep. So thank y'all very much. We'll see you Thursday night. Oh, question in the back.
Wednesday night, was that a matchup zone you were playing most of the time?
No, no. We like to do this. We like to pressure the ball, build the wall. So we're going to pressure the ball, and we're going to play in gaps everywhere. So if you beat us, you're going to have to make a bunch of shots to beat us. And that's what we're going to do on Thursday. We're not going to give you layups. We're not going to give you free throws. We're not going to give up second shots. We went 7 for 7 from the foul line against Western Illinois. They made 13 free throws. So we can all look at the end of the game. If we keep them off the foul line, we win that basketball game. There's a recipe to my madness. We're just not there right now. And so, but we pressed an awful lot in that game. Learned this from Bruce Pearl. If you got superior talent and you press, you ain't gonna lose that game. And so we won't press if you have superior talent. The rest of the way, we will not press any in 1 second of any game the rest of the year. All right, until we're gonna get superior talent. Dr. Davis has done this campus and this community. We're gonna get there, but you gave us 2 months to fill a roster. But we're going to get there. We're going to have, one day, listen, I was at Tennessee Tech in this same identical situation. Walking out there with Jeff Lebo, my boss, looking at Murray State. He said, Schultz, come here. Yep. He said, they got the men. We got the little boys. One day, we're going to have the men, and everybody else is going to have the little boys. Well, 4 years later, we won 27 games, and we're one of the elite teams in the country. And so right now, we got little children. It ain't gonna stay that way. Everybody's gonna graduate the kids. We're gonna keep our kids here because how we run our basketball program. And one day, we're gonna have the men. And everybody else gonna have little boys. Terry?
So,
No.
we have more patience than you do.
I have none. But I wanna fire myself right now.
We have more understanding than you do as far as knowing what the crowd, I told you before, the crowd would come, and it did. So you just have to remember, we have one thought of how our ball team is played, and we're looking forward to that. So, you know, you're not gonna hear naysayers from this side.
Well, listen, I had so much respect for Dr. Davis and Matt Whitey, and I did have respect for Dr. Teague before he left me. I had a lot of respect for that man. Now I hate the guy. Zero respect. But listen, I got respect for these guys in this community and what y'all care about. But we want to put a great product. I'll just say this: we want to put a great product out on the floor to make y'all proud. But I ain't gonna lie to you. Whether we win or we lose, you're gonna be very proud of our product we put out on that floor this year. Because, like, we got guys playing who I never thought would be playing for us. I thought we would have Javion. I thought we would have Ty Robinson. I thought we'd have Tyler Lee. That's okay. We do what we do. And so you're going to be proud of our product. It's kind of like Nathan Brown. All right? He was a genius when he had his start quarterback. But your kid, you're third, and I'll watch your game over there, Nathan. All right? Like, when you have to play guys that aren't ready or you still got to have belief in those kids and play their guts out. Play their guts out and had an opportunity to win a flipping football game. So you're going to be proud of what we put out on that floor this year. Win or lose. So, like me, do not look at the scoreboard an awful lot at all. Just watch those kids play their guts out for the Central Army. So, yes, last question. Because, Gene, I'm not listening.
Look, surprised that you did mention with 1 second, you had a chance to win the game with the long pass. It was a little high. But you were still battling. You guys were ready, even though there was only 1 second on the clock.
Listen, we will get better as that time goes. Well, I'm just telling you, we will be better after today. We'll be better in that next situation. We will be better. I'm just being honest. We're just trying to defend and score the ball enough to be in a situation. After you have what we had at BYU and Utah, and then at Randall, you're not in those situations. I'm just going to be honest with you. You have to be in those situations and lose before you can have success. If it was easy, the basketball gods would just say, all right, everybody just wins. Everybody wins. It don't work like that. You've got to be in there and feel it, and feel a game, and feel what it's like to lose one of those games before you can win. So I hope I don't have any more, and I'd like to win a few. But once again, thank y'all. Let someone else talk.
Our Sugar Bears improved to 3-0 on Saturday, a solid 67 win over UT Martin on the road. We made 12 three-pointers, did not shoot 56, but we made 12. Jade Upshaw had 4 of them. She had 22 points, 1 of 4 in double figures. We shot 58.6% from the field, 42.9% from three-point. Outscored UT Martin 19-9 in the fourth quarter. Pretty solid. Now we head to Stillwater, as I said, for an 11 a.m. Kids Day at Oklahoma State. They are 4-0 on the year, all 4 at home. Their place is going to be loud. It's loud anyway, just the way it's built. It's built like this. And you put 2,000 kids in there, I can only imagine. Good luck hearing Steve-O on the radio, because I'm not sure we're going to be able to hear him. Back at home a week from today, host Central Baptist at 6:30 at the Fair Center on our tour drive night. Now let's hear from Coach Tony Kemper.
Yeah, so good win on that night at Martin, Tennessee. That's a good OVC team. They're picked to win the league. They play different. They really changed defenses a lot. They pressed a lot. Our kids handled it well. We turned it over some, but I think, if you watch the game, we made them pay a lot for kind of scrambling. So it's sort of, there was a little bit of a trade-off. They wanted to play a wild game. And I think, I'm fine with us playing a lot of possessions because we've got a lot of people that can score. Depth looks really good. A couple weeks ago I said Cheyenne Kemp's really played well. She was great again the other day. We've just got a lot of people that are, when we have the right frame of mind, are really playing well for us right now. So I think the thing that I was most happy with was probably just the mentality of just acted confident, really for 40 minutes about, calm confidence about what we are. And I think that's something that's really key for this team to grow. Like they've been, we've been together a lot. It's the opposite of what coaches got going on. So we did that last year. They've been together a lot. It's kind of like we played pretty well. We still have a little capability gap of where we're at and where we can go. But I think we carried ourselves the right way to, if we can continue to kind of capture that in a bottle, you can get really good. We shot early threes against the press because they were good shots. They're the right ones. Sometimes your kids get, they question whether or not they should shoot those balls. They didn't. We were aggressive throughout. We finally started to play some decent defense later, which was helpful. But they have talented players. So Anaya Brown's tough to deal with, and she made some really tough shots to keep them in it. So great win, great road win. That's one that, you hope to put yourself in a position where that win matters. They won their league last year, so that kind of win is really good for metrics. There's so much of the season left that it doesn't matter yet, but hopefully we put ourselves in a position towards the end that kind of thing does. Oklahoma State this week, really good team, big, but they shoot it really well, which Coach kind of talked about how he plays defense. We basically play defense exactly the same way, and we're trying to figure out who we can help off of, and that's difficult. They shoot it very well at really 4 positions when you're playing, and then they have a big post player. So those things got to play good one-on-one defense. Can't require a lot of help, and that will be a challenge for us. But good team, early morning start. Love that. We had to sit around till 7 on Saturday night. That's a very long Saturday for your kids to that 7 o'clock game. So it won't be long already of our week, and we'll be tipping it up at Oklahoma State. So that's my kind of. I'm a little more patient than him, but maybe I just handle it better. But Tip will be here really, really soon, and I like that. But good challenge for them. I think this is a game where we can learn a lot. We need to be patient with it. We can't make 20-point plays. They're going to put some runs on us. It's going to get loud. It's exactly what we need to go see. We need to figure out a way to stare down that kind of environment and get better. I think that's probably the biggest thing. Questions? Yeah.
I think that even though you talked about 3 points in the offense, to me, your most improved part of your team is your defense. Your people are really, young ladies are really playing excellent defense, getting back well, hustling. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I mean, early in the season, we still have some things in transition that we got to clean up. That'll be vital on Wednesday. Cannot play with them at all if we don't get back and get in front of them. Metrically, we were a pretty good defensive team last year. It took a while to get there, but this team should guard well. We got to put them in good positions on that kind of stuff, and then, like I said, the offensive stuff. We have a lot of players that can score, so if we kind of focus on that end, I think the other side of it can take care of itself a little bit. So, anything else? All right, thanks.
Our beat-up football Bears put up a really good fight on Saturday on Senior Day before losing 38-31. Our redshirt freshman quarterback, Caleb Coger, that we talked about here last week, that was signaling plays 2 weeks ago, had a very, very good Saturday in his first career start. He was 21 of 34 passing, 269 yards, 4 touchdowns. Good enough to be nominated for Newcomer of the Week or Freshman of the Week in the conference, and I'll go ahead and leak this out. He did get Freshman of the Week in the conference. It comes out here in about 10 minutes.
Yay.
Wide receiver Malachi Henry, also a redshirt freshman, caught 8 passes, 133 yards, and a touchdown. Senior Trajan Bridges caught 6 for 112, 2 touchdowns, including a highlight reel catch down here in this end zone. Defense, a couple of seniors stood out on senior day. Tamarian Wilson had 11 tackles. Linebacker Demetrius Charles had 10 tackles, a sack, and an interception. Now we close out the season at Tarleton State, 2 o'clock Saturday in Stephenville. They lost to Abilene Christian Saturday. That gave Abilene Christian the conference title. Abilene 7-1 and tied for second at 5-2 with EKU and Southern Utah. So Abilene Christian wins the title this year from that win last week. One more shot for some outstanding seniors to go out winners on Saturday, 2 o'clock at Tarleton. Now let's hear from Coach Nathan Brown.
Thank you, Steve. First thing I want to do is, there was correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think it is Coaches Appreciation Week. Y'all cross-check me on that. So I just want to tell you, coaches, I appreciate y'all. And if anybody wants to send some pats on the back, make sure you take care of the winners over there, John and Tony. Yeah. But yeah, no, there's an appreciation week for everything. But somebody told me that this morning, so I wanted to tell. We got a good group of coaches, man. They're fun to listen to. They're entertaining and obviously very informative and doing a great job. Hit a couple high points from Saturday's game, and then I'll move on and take any questions. Obviously, very proud of the 2 quarterbacks that played. Steve mentioned Caleb Koger's numbers. Probably every single person sitting in here didn't know who that young man was 2 weeks ago. And now he's going and winning Conference Player of the Week as far as being a freshman. What an unbelievable story that is. And I thought Eric McGee did some good things as well. We were going to play him because he adds a dynamic in athletic ability as well as arm strength as a true freshman. So he played some good snaps, had some good rush yards, had a couple good passes, had a boneheaded pass as well, which you take your lumps with the true freshman. But very proud of those 2 guys. The moment wasn't too big for them, and I think that was the most exciting part of Saturday was, one, we prepared the heck out of them. I joked with our coaches all week last week, we're going to earn our coaching credentials these last 2 weeks just because of the situation we're in. And I just want to commend staff and what they did to get those 2 young men prepared and giving us a chance to win the football game. Just didn't make enough key stops when it mattered. And obviously the 2 turnovers at the beginning of the half killed us. And that resulted in 10 points, a 10-point swing there in their favor, which was ultimately the difference in the game. But again, a high point on defense. We knew Lamberson was going to be one of the best running backs we faced all year. He gained 150 yards, something like that. As a total team effort, our defense held them to the second least amount of rushing yards, which is hard to believe because they were still able to rush the ball all year behind the University of Utah. We just some key moments and some key plays, and when you're playing in a game where you're somewhat limited in what you're able to do, you've almost got to play errorless football, and we didn't do that. I was looking up things as I was kind of evaluating, going into our 4th loss this year of 1 possession or less, and that's a tough pill to swallow. So I looked at the last 2 years. We played 22 games in the last 2 years. And the coaches listen to this because this is something I'm dissecting in my head, what I can do better. So in the last 22 games, we played 12 games the result has been a loss, the result has been less than 1 possession, so 7 points or less. 12 of those 22 games. We're 6-6 in those games. So we're right in the median, right? What do we have to do to be 8-4, or what do we have to do to be 10-2 in those games? I mean, that's what you're thinking about. The other 10 games we played were 7-3 in that are 2 possessions or more, wins or losses, right? So we've won 7 games out of those 10 where we've won by 2 or more scores. We've lost 3 games where we've lost by 2 possessions or less, and 2 of those was to North Dakota State and Oklahoma State. So what that tells me is we're playing tight ball games every week. If you think about that, that's a tight football game every single week that we're playing. And so. What do you have to do? You have to stay healthy. You have to limit the penalties. You have to not have costly turnovers. Turnovers are going to happen, but where do they happen at, and when do they happen at what point in the game? So you just go through splitting hairs, and so that's what I've been evaluating, thinking about. Well, what's going to help us avoid that at Tarleton? Because here's what history says: it's going to be a 4-quarter game on Saturday against Tarleton State. right? I just told you the numbers, and so we've got to prepare as if we're going to be playing 4 quarters and be buckled up and ready to go for all 4 of those quarters. And you watch, and it's like Coach Shulman was talking about, what all of our coaches are talking about. Our players play their butts off. Like, they play as hard as they can. They leave it out on the football field every Saturday night, and that is never a question. It's just how do we push the right buttons to now play smarter, or how do we push the right buttons to have ball security? How do we push the right buttons to gain turnovers? Right? That's something we haven't been able to do much the last couple weeks, and so that's something that we're thinking about and working on, and doing different drills and stuff to try to impose that on our football team. We still have a motivated football team. I had 3 or 4 people, after the game, well, how are y'all going to stay motivated this week? Man, it's football, right? Play ball. These guys are here to play ball, and they've got an opportunity to go compete and avenge a loss that probably kept them out of the playoffs last year, Tarleton State, by 2 points out here in the middle of the year. So there's a lot to play for our guys. It's a chance to get to win number 7. It's a chance to go again represent UCA on the road for another opportunity in the state of Texas. So, but we're in a good state of mind. Obviously frustrated. Kids were down. I didn't talk to them much after the game as far as my evaluation of what I thought of the game. I talked more about that with them last night in our team meeting. I thought our spirits were better last night than they were the night before, obviously coming fresh off of loss, and obviously a tough loss at that, being such a close game, and again, considering the circumstances. And no matter who was playing, and that, I've had several of y'all say what an amazing job by Caleb Koger and all this stuff. It don't matter who's playing. We go to win the game. I mean, if we had to play a running back at quarterback every game because we had 4 quarterbacks hurt, we'd go play to win the game. I mean, the expectation doesn't change. We've just got to do enough in other areas to help supplement that, and we didn't do enough of that on Saturday. So I was proud of our guys, proud of our effort. Again, we didn't play perfect football, and you near about have to play about perfect football if you're in that situation. So I'll tell you this though, you guys, there's some of y'all were in the post game presser when Caleb was in here. A little thing Caleb did that helped me out. So after the game, everybody's down and all that, and you're going over, you're hugging your guys. Hey, it's going to be all right. Let's stay, motivated. You got some highs and lows of emotions, right? Freshmen are taking it different than seniors, right? I mean, all parts in between. But Jessica was with me, and we actually walked over to Caleb and his family. And, I went over and just hugged his neck and said, man, I'm proud of you. 2 weeks ago, you were literally signaling. I mean, had no thought or inclination that you were ever going to play a snap this year. Obviously you would hope in the future you'd have a chance to get better and compete and do all those things. And it's almost like the innocence, like I was talking to Luke Brown, my son, or Riley, my daughter. He looked at me, and I'm expecting just to shake his head and just be, beat, right? It's my fault. I'm the starting quarterback, I didn't do enough, And he literally looked at me with the most pure eyes, almost the most. I'm just telling you, I needed this in the moment. I still need it today. Looked at me and said, Coach, that was so fun. Literally said, that was so fun. And with the biggest smile on his face. And you guys that were in the press conference, y'all heard what some of the things he said. He's going to be on the radio show tonight. He just looked at it and just said, Coach, that was so fun. I mean, and that's what it goes back to. I mean, crap, we make football so, and it should be, right? We want to win and, up and down and all that. But it's got to be fun at some point. And even though in that situation that kid had the weight of the team and the weight of you guys and me and everybody as a starting quarterback, he lost that game. He said, Coach, that was fun. And he hugged my neck and he said, what? I get to do a press conference? I mean, that's what he said. So I said, yeah, come with me. You can bring your 20 family members up here. And but very proud of that kid. Very, just wanted to share that moment because that was special. And what a great kid. But again, a lot of good by Malachi Henry, by Darius almost had 100 yards. Trajan Bridges continues to come up big. Thought our offensive line protected. No sacks given up on Caleb all night. Just a good effort by a lot of people, just not enough, unfortunately for us, when it mattered most. So looking forward to turn the page of Tarleton. Obviously a very good program. Coach Witten does a great job down there. Again, going to be a top 20 team. Again, they're probably saying they got to win this game, to get in the playoffs. I don't know. I mean, they don't want to put it in the hands of other people. So, they lost a tough one last week on the last second to Abilene Christian to basically lose the conference championship. So, a big game for us, but a tough place to play in Stephenville, Texas. Really good environment, beautiful place. They've done a great job with their stadium renovations and some different things. And again, they got one of the best running backs in the country as well, just like the Lamberson kids. Lamberson kid we played last week. This kid is just as good, has about as many yards as well. So going to be a great challenge, but looking forward to the challenge. As far as injury updates go, we might get T.D. Williams back, our starting corner. He missed with a knee injury last game. You know, he walked on senior day, didn't dress. Hopefully we get him back. He's an all-conference caliber corner. Could have used him the other night. Will and Austin will not be back still. They're still nursing their injury, so they're out for the foreseeable future. Shunderek's hit or miss. Again, he's been out really the last 3 games. I mean, you're talking about 200 yards of total offense a game and 18 touchdowns that you haven't had the last 3 weeks, and that's tough to replace. And so, you know, he's just battling a hamstring and can't get to full strength. So, not sure on him and his status, but you know, we'll figure it out. With that being said, any questions, Mr. Bobby?
He's one of these 2 guys to lose a red shirt, right?
No. Well, Caleb has redshirted. So Caleb redshirted last year, Bobby. So he's a redshirt freshman. But Eric will not lose his red shirt. Yep, Eric came in as a true freshman. He gets 4 games to play. He'll play in his 2nd game this coming Saturday. So, good question, Dr. Bradley.
When do we end this era of guys playing 7 and 6 and 5 years?
When do we end this era of that?
The year, yeah, because we've got guys that are men
Yeah,
playing kids right out of high school.
yeah.
And, some of these players on the college level are older than guys playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
There's something to me that's not right about the system.
Well, it doesn't take much to get a waiver from the NCAA in this era. So when I'm saying that, it could be anything from obviously a medical injury, or it could be maybe a mental health issue. There's a lot of factors into it. But again, this is going to be your last stretch, I believe, of COVID seniors. I mean, we're still talking about that 2020. So they're still talking about guys that could have played in 2020 and then redshirted in 21 and still playing right now, right? I mean, there's a lot of factors into that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is interesting. I mean, when you've got 23, 24-year-olds out there playing football or basketball or whatever sport, if I'm 23, 24 years old, I think I'd be ready to move on with life, but that would just be my opinion, But yeah, again.
So there just seems like there's a degree of unfairness in the system, and I don't know how we fix it.
Well, they're sitting at that table over there. You can ask them more questions about that, but I'm not exactly sure how I'm not exactly sure how important amateur status is to the NCAA anyway. So it is what it is. Yes, ma'am.
I want to say something about that catch that Bridges made.
Yes, ma'am.
No,
Wasn't it?
that was like an NFL.
Yeah, he's.
Beautiful reception.
It was a great. I mean, he did a great job, and obviously, it was a one-handed catch. And we've seen some phenomenal catches out here, but with Tyler Hudson, Lawan Winningham over the years. I mean, you can date all the way back to Aaron Feruz when I played. That was one of the best I've probably ever seen in person. Just because he was almost parallel to the ground and caught it with one hand. It was pretty remarkable. Yes, sir.
I want to say something in closing. You talked about players and all. I want to talk about the coaches and the offensive game plan.
Yes, sir.
Was phenomenal.
Yeah.
What we had and what we didn't have.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were playing Derek as a dummy over here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and we played 2 quarterbacks some, and just we try to create some mismatches, and when sometimes whenever you get in a situation like that, you get back on the drawing board, and some of the stuff we did on Saturday almost seems elementary, but it was when it comes to coaching wise and fundamentals, but it was what was going to work, and I thought. More so than anything, I thought especially Caleb, but both quarterbacks went in and executed it at a high rate and gave us a chance to win a game.
You and Ken must have spent the week together.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in there. It was a good week, and I commend him for getting those. It's not easy to get any quarterback ready to play. I mean, even if it's a 5th, 6th-year senior, much less 2 that haven't taken a real significant snap really since fall camp. So just because of where they were at in the depth chart. So. I mean, unbelievable job getting quarterback play ready. All right. Yes.
I've been watching the Bears a long time.
Yes, ma'am.
Started in '63. Saturday, I completed 62 years of not missing a home UCA football game.
That's unreal.
Now, what I wanted to say
Yeah.
was, there've been disappointments, but they've never been disappointed in your staff and your team.
Thank you. That means a lot. Don't you start tearing up on me. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Yeah, you have 62 years worth. I appreciate those comments. I'm going to turn it over to Matt. Thank y'all.
"62 years, that's incredible. That's awesome, Miss Susan. That's great.
Yeah, my children grew up on bleachers. A lot of people did.
That's just a fantastic number, and we appreciate your support very much."
Thanks for the opportunity to do it.
Well, thank you. I know we're running short on time, but just a few things. Frank, Kyle, Chase, congratulations. That was a heck of a run. Fun to watch Saturday night, and that was heartbreaking at the ending, but
I didn't say it with the same innocence of Luke or Riley, but I said to our guys, I said, what a fun ride.
that was great. Yes. I was watching the end of it, and my 6-year-old was walking me through everything, telling me exactly what was happening.
I love that. That's awesome.
And then, Dr. Fox, you mentioned Trajan's catch Saturday at the game. We spent some time yesterday afternoon in the backyard trying to recreate that catch. So, yeah. Camden was trying to recreate it. I was trying to throw it to him. So, we got a lot of reps in yesterday. But anyway, it was Frank, congratulations, you guys. It was an awesome run. Just real fast, a couple things I wanted to mention. Purple Circle donors, be on the lookout tonight for a phone call tonight and tomorrow night from our student athletes for our annual Thank-a-thon, where we call and thank donors for their support. Appreciate Cody and Morgan taking the leadership role on that and setting that up, and looking forward to doing that tonight. Always a great opportunity to engage our student athletes in that process and kind of expose them to the stewardship piece. So be on the lookout for a phone call tonight. It's coming from a 501 area code from our offices, so they'll be calling out our offices.
Thanks.
Excited to be back in the Fair Center this week. Thursday, toy drive. Sunday, there's a game on Friday as well at 6:30 between SEMO and UNC Asheville. So got a chance to catch some basketball again. We're running short on time, but appreciate everybody being here. Thank you so much for your support. Let's have a great week. Go Bears, go Sugar Bears. Bear claws up.